by your tradition. Just pray over it. You can eat anything now. That is not in the Bible. Go ahead, verse 7. What Jesus called these people?
Ye hypocrites.
See, Jesus called it like it was, because you're going to claim to believe in God, but you're going to ignore what God is saying. You are a hypocrite. Go ahead.
Well did Isaiah prophesy you saying.
He said, Isaiah talked about y'all hypocrites. Go ahead.
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth,
Uh-huh.
and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Uh-huh.
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
See, people need to pay attention to this. You following a whole bunch of tradition. Jesus telling you, you wasting your time. You worshiping okay, but it's in vain because your doctrine is man-made. That's all we got in this world as a whole. That's why they going to church tomorrow, because a man said the Sabbath day is changed to the first day. Cannot read it in the Bible. But go ahead, verse 10.
And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which go into the mouth defileth the man, but that which cometh out of the mouth.
See, now people grab this one. They say, see, brother, I can eat anything. I ain't got to worry about what go in my mouth. Is what come out the mouth. That's what defiled me. I don't have to worry about it. But Jesus wasn't talking about anything. He was talking about the question on the table to eat with unwashed hands. See, again, he didn't have to go to certain places with these people because they all knew the law. They knew the law about the dietary law. There wasn't even an option on the table for them. They wasn't thinking this way. None of these people wasn't thinking this way. It wasn't even an option. So Jesus didn't have to clarify except the dietary law because they knew that. But now he did say, not that which goeth in the mouth defileth the man, but that which cometh out. See, he's talking spiritual again. Go ahead.
This defileth the man.
That defileth the man. Go ahead.
Then came his disciples.
I'm sorry. Did we skip? Yeah, skip down to verse 15. Verse 15 to save a little time because we're running out. I'm going to turn this into one lesson instead of two. Go ahead.
Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable.
See now, pay attention that Peter was right there when the Lord said, answered the question about eating with unwashed hands. Peter and his disciples were there. And Jesus said, not that which go in the mouth defile a man, but that would come out. But he's speaking about what they was telling him, eating with unwashed hands. That was the topic of discussion. Right. So, but Peter was right there. So my point is, if Jesus meant I can eat pork, we can eat anything like people say this mean nowadays. They try to use this one. If he meant that, Peter should have been the first one to know, right? Right. Peter right there. Peter should say, oh, that's what you mean, because he even asked them to clarify. Because see, they was really tripping because Jesus was going against the tradition of these people that they always used to, eating with unwashed hands. You couldn't do it. That was a sin. So Peter said, declare unto us this parable. And Jesus broke it down for him again. Go ahead.
And Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding?
He said, don't y'all hear what I'm telling you? What?
Do ye not understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the draught?
See, it all do that. But see, you ain't going to put nothing that God say don't put in there anyway if you believe God. But go ahead.
But those things which proceed out the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
See, that's what defile you, though. And if you going against God's dietary law, hey, that's defiling you because that's in your heart. You don't believe what he's saying. Go ahead.
For out the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man.
These are what defile a man. He's talking about sin. Eating swine is a sin because it's breaking God's law. It will defile you, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man.
Oh, to eat a pork chop don't defile you. Did he say that?
No.
To eat some catfish, that don't defile you either. He didn't say that, did he?
No.
He summed it up. He said, but to eat with unwashed hands, that don't defile you. Now, if he'd have said to eat a pork chop, then I would have to say, well, God has switched up on me. He didn't change. But the Bible says he don't change. Right. But he did not say that because that wasn't even the topic. The topic was eating with unwashed hands, but people takes one thing and twist it into something else. Let's go to, let's go to Acts 10. Acts 10. Acts the 10th chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1, and we're going to see these are the ones that they go to in the New Testament. But see, this one is a two-edged sword. They go to this one, and they really cutting themselves up from the last one. They don't know it, because Peter is the one in this one. And we know Peter was at the last scripture we read. Peter asked Jesus to clarify that thing about eating with unwashed hands, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a two-edged sword for him. Acts 10:1. Go ahead.
There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band.
See, now Cornelius, an Italian, a non-Israelite. He was an Italian, a Gentile, but he believed God. And it was time for God to bring the Gentiles into the fold as a whole. So it was time for it. But see, Peter and the apostles didn't know it was time for it. They didn't know if it was ever going to be time for it, because Jesus told them, only go to the lost sheep of Israel. But see, now it was time for the Gentile. So this Gentile that really had some faith, he had been listening to a little bit, named Cornelius, the Lord was choosing him to open the door for the Gentile. But now, he still worked everything through Israel, so he got to get Israel to go preach to this Gentile, which is no small task. Because he told them, don't go to nobody else but Israel, right? So they on their mission. That's why they was going all over preaching to nobody but Israel. Acts the 8th chapter say they went all over preaching to none but the Jews. That's all they was preaching. People think the New Testament the church is made up of some, the Gentiles and other people. No, it was all Israelites till about this time. Go ahead.
A devout man, and one that feared God with all his house.
Now, it said he was Italian. Now, I got some people that try to say he really wasn't, that he was really Israelite too. Because you got some Israelites try to make like, everybody in the Bible that was referred to as Gentiles, they were still talking to Israel. They just had Gentile mind. They crazy. Now, this guy really was an Italian. That's what this whole issue was about. And it said he was a devout man. He feared God, him and his house. Go ahead.
Which gave much alms to the people.
To the people. Who's the people? Israel. He gave much alms to the people. He said, even though they crazy, I know they the people. So I'm going to help them out. I'm going to help. So he gave much alms. That means contributions, money. He gave much alms to the people, and what else he do?
And prayed to God always.
Go ahead.
He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming into him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God.
Now he done seen an angel that came to Cornelius, talking to him in his house. And he said, your prayers and alms, the Lord been looking at your good deeds. And you've been seeking the Lord. The Lord see that. Go ahead.
And now send men to Joppa.
But now the angel didn't tell him nothing. The angel could have preached to him and told him how to save himself, right? He talking to him. But now the Lord got order how he do things. So the angel just told him where to go. Let him know this is for real. Look, you go to Joppa and call for Peter. Go ahead, finish that.
And call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter.
Go ahead, verse 6.
He lodged with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to do.
See, the angel didn't tell him what he ought to do, did he? Except go find Peter. He gonna tell you what you ought to do. And that's what he did. Skip down to verse 9, because now the Lord got to send the angel to Peter. So Peter can be prepared for these Gentiles, because no form of fashion would Peter would have went with him. Unless the Lord give him a strong sign. And that's what the Lord did. Verse 9.
On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh to the city.
Now they is the people we skipped over, the people that Cornelius sent to Peter, because he did like the angel said. He sent some of his people, because he had people under him. He sent them to Joppa to call for Peter. So while they on their way, the Lord got to prepare Peter now. See, this is what this is all about. But for years, I've seen people come to Acts the 10th chapter and say that this showed me we can eat anything. And we ain't talking about no food yet, have we? We know what the story is about. It's about Cornelius of the Italian band. That's what it's about. Don't have nothing to do with you can eat anything. Even some people quote it.